Tonight, federal agents have executed the largest energy redirection operation in Western Hemisphere history.
This is not a heist. This is not a seizure. This is the largest energy redirection operation in Western Hemisphere history. And you are about to see what happens when a dictator turns oil into a weapon and the FBI turns that weapon back on him. January 6, 2026, 2:43 a.m., Caracas, Venezuela. Beneath the Miraflores presidential palace, 3 stories underground, sits a vault that does not officially exist. No blueprints, no maintenance record, no security logs, just silence. And behind 12-inch reinforced steel doors, behind biometric scanners that only respond to one man's fingerprint, sits 50 million barrels worth of crude oil certificates, bonds, contracts, access codes to offshore tankers, all of it untraceable, all of it illegal, all of it about to disappear. The FBI Cyber Division has been tracking this vault for 19 months. They call it the Golden Oil Vault, not because there is gold inside, but because every drop of oil tied to those documents is worth more than gold. 50 million barrels. At current market rates, that is $3.5 billion. Enough to fund a small war, enough to destabilize an economy, enough to make Nicolas Maduro untouchable until tonight. At 2:47 a.m., 6 Black Hawk helicopters lift off from the USS Baton, an amphibious assault ship positioned 12 miles off the Venezuelan coast. Inside, those birds are operators who do not exist on any roster. Delta Force Tier 1, FBI Hostage Rescue Team Alpha Unit, DEA Foreign Deployed Advisory Support Team, Navy SEAL Team 6 Echo Platoon. This is not law enforcement. This is a black operation with federal authorization, and it is happening in the heart of enemy territory. The lead helicopter cuts through the fog like a blade. No lights, no transponder, just the low thrum of rotors and the static of encrypted comms. Below them, Caracas spreads out like a dying circuit board. Streetlights flicker, power grids fail and restart. And somewhere in that darkness, in a bunker beneath the palace where Maduro used to sleep, the Golden Oil Vault is waiting. 2:51 a.m. The helicopters do not land on the palace roof. Too exposed. Too many anti-aircraft emplacements still manned by loyalist forces. Instead, they drop ropes onto the adjoining finance ministry building. 12 operators fast rope down in under 6 seconds. Boots hit concrete. Suppressed HK-416 rifles sweep left and right. Thermal scopes light up. 3 guards on the rooftop access, all of them asleep. The team does not wake them. Zip ties, duct tape, dragged into a utility closet, silent, surgical, gone. The lead breacher, call sign Reaper 1, moves to the rooftop door. It is locked with a deadbolt and a keycard scanner. He pulls a bypass device the size of a smartphone from his vest, plugs it into the scanner. 3 seconds. Green light. The door clicks open. No alarms, no sound, just the hiss of pressurized air escaping from the stairwell below. 2:54 a.m. The team descends, 3 floors down, 2 floors down, ground level, and then they keep going. Basement level 1, basement level 2, and finally, basement level 3. The air down here is different, colder, heavier. The walls are not concrete anymore. They are steel, reinforced, blast-proof. This is not a basement. This is a bunker. And at the end of the corridor, behind a door with no handle, no keyhole, just a biometric scanner and a 12-digit alphanumeric keypad, is the Golden Oil Vault. Reaper 1 signals to the tech specialist, call sign Cypher. She moves forward, pulling a ruggedized laptop for pack. The screen glows faint blue in the darkness. She connects a cable to the biometric scanner. Her fingers fly across the keyboard. Lines of code scroll. The FBI has been inside Maduro's digital network for 8 months. They have his fingerprint. They have his retinal scans. They have his voice signatures. And they have something better. They have the master override code that even Maduro does not know exists. Because the Chinese company that built this vault also built backdoors. And the FBI found them. 2:58 a.m. The vault door does not explode open. It does not get breached with thermite or C4. It simply hums, a low mechanical sound, and then it slides open. Smooth, silent, like it has been waiting for them. Inside, the vault is the size of a 2-car garage, but it is not filled with cash. It is not filled with gold bars. It is filled with filing cabinets, rows of them, floor to ceiling, and inside those cabinets are documents that should not exist. Oil futures contracts, tanker manifests, shell company registrations, cryptocurrency wallet access codes, offshore accounts in Panama, the Cayman Islands, Cyprus, and Dubai. And every single one of them is tied to the same thing. 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, sitting in tanker, sitting in storage terminal, sitting in pipeline, all of it sanctioned, all of it illegal, and all of it about to be redirected. Reaper 1 radios back to command. Vault is secure. Package confirmed. Initiating data extraction. The team spreads out. Cipher plugs hard drives in the vault's internal server. Two other operators pull filing cabinets open and start photographing every page with high-resolution body cameras. Another operator finds something else, a wall safe, hidden behind a false panel. He signals to the breacher. The breacher pulls a plasma cutter from his pack. 10 seconds. The safe door glows red, then orange. Then it falls inward with a dull clang. Inside the safe are three things: a leather-bound ledger, a USB drive, and a satellite phone. The ledger is handwritten in Spanish, and it lists names, American names, governors, senators, CEOs, Port Authority directors, Border Patrol supervisors. Next to each name is a number, not a phone number, a dollar amount, millions, tens of millions. And next to each dollar amount is a date, payments, bribes, payoffs, all of it documented in Maduro's own handwriting. The operator who finds it does not say anything. He just stares at the page. Then he closes the ledger, seals it in an evidence bag, and tags it with a red label. Priority Alpha, eyes only, White House delivery, 3:11 a.m. The data extraction is complete. 4 terabytes. Every document, every contract, every account, every name. The FBI now has a complete map of the Golden Oil Vault network, and it is worse than they thought. Because this is not just about Venezuela. This is not just about Maduro. This is about a shadow oil empire that stretches across 4 continents. The Sinaloa cartel in Mexico is using Venezuelan oil tankers to smuggle methamphetamine and cocaine. The CJNG cartel is using Venezuelan refinery chemicals to produce fentanyl precursors. The FARC remnants in Colombia are using Venezuelan diesel to power cocaine superlabs in the jungle, and all of it is flowing north into the United States, hidden inside oil shipments, disguised as legitimate energy trade, protected by corrupt American officials who were paid to look the other way. 3:17 a.m. The team exits the vault, seals the door behind them, and moves back up the stairwell. But this time, they are not alone, because someone triggered a silent alarm. Not inside the vault, inside the palace. And now, 2 floors above them, a rapid response unit is mobilizing. 30 Venezuelan National Guard troops, armed with AK-103 rifles and RPGs, and they are heading down. Reaper 1 hears them first, boots on metal stairs, shouting in Spanish. He signals to his team. They freeze, count the footsteps, estimate the distance. 15 seconds. The Venezuelan troops will round the corner in 15 seconds, and when they do, the silent operation is going to become a firefight. But the FBI did not come here to start a war. They came here to win one. So Reaper 1 makes a call. He radios to the helicopters circle overhead. Need a distraction, north side, now. 3:18 a.m. On the north side of the Miraflores Palace, 2 Black Hawks drop to 50 feet above the courtyard. Spotlights blast on, loudspeakers crackle, and a pre-recorded message in Spanish echoes across the compound. This is the United States Armed Forces. Lay down your weapons. This facility is under federal jurisdiction. The Venezuelan troops on the stairwell stop. Confused, they hear the helicopters. They hear the message, and they do what every soldier does when they do not have orders. They hesitate. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and that is all the FBI team needs. They move fast, up the stairs, past the stairwell junction, out the rooftop door. Ropes deploy, fast rope extraction. All 12 operators are airborne in under 20 seconds. The Black Hawks bank hard, rotors scream, and they disappear into the night sky before the Venezuelan troops even reach the rooftop. 3:26 a.m. The helicopters do not return to the USS Baton. They fly east, over the mountains, over the coastline, and they land on a forward operating base in Trinidad and Tobago. The data drives are handed to FBI cyber forensics agents who have been waiting for hours. The leather-bound ledger is sealed in a diplomatic pouch and flown directly to Washington, D.C. And the satellite phone from the wall safe, that gets handed to the NSA, because the call logs on that phone are going to tell them who Maduro was talking to. And when they crack it, they are going to find something that will change everything. 4:41 a.m. FBI headquarters, Washington, D.C. The assistant director of the Criminal Investigative Division walks into a secure briefing room. Inside are 23 agents, analysts, prosecutors, and 1 deputy attorney general. They have been waiting all night, and now the assistant director drops a file on the table. It lands with a heavy thud, and he says one sentence. "We just stole 50 million barrels of oil from a dictator, and he does not even know it yet." The room goes silent. Then the lead analyst pulls up a digital map on the wall screen. It shows the world. And on that map, dozens of red markers. Each one represents an oil tanker, a storage terminal, a refinery, a port. All of them are connected to the Golden Oil Vault, and all of them are now under FBI control. Because the contracts the team seized are not just evidence, they are legal instruments, bearer documents. Whoever holds them owns the oil. And as of 3:11 a.m. this morning, the United States holds them. The Deputy Attorney General leans forward. How much are we talking about? The analyst does the math. 50 million barrels. Current market rate is $72 per barrel. Total value, $3.6 billion. The room erupts. Questions, objections, legal concerns. But the assistant director raises his hand. This is not about money. This is about cutting the head off a snake. Every one of those barrels was funding the cartels. Every one of those shipments was being used to smuggle narcotics. And every one of those contracts was tied to a corrupt American official. We are not stealing oil. We are seizing criminal assets. And we are using them to rebuild what the cartels destroyed. 6:12 a.m. The operation expands. FBI field offices in Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, Phoenix, and New York execute coordinated raids. Simultaneously. No warning, no leaks, just tactical teams hitting addresses pulled from the Golden Oil Vault ledger. And what they find is staggering. In Los Angeles, agents raid a Port Authority director's home in Manhattan Beach. Inside his garage, they find $2.3 million in cash, stacked in Home Depot buckets. He is arrested in his bathrobe. In Houston, agents hit an oil brokerage firm registered as Petro Global Consulting. The office is empty, but the server room is not. Inside are records showing how Venezuelan crude oil was relabeled as Colombian oil to bypass U.S. sanctions. The CEO is arrested at the airport trying to board a flight to Dubai. In Miami, agents raid a luxury condo in Brickell. The owner is a logistics coordinator for the Sinaloa cartel. Inside his safe, they find USB drives with shipping manifests. Crude oil tankers leaving Venezuela, arriving in Mexico, and then continuing north to refineries in Texas. But the manifests also list hidden cargo, cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamine, all of it packed inside false compartments welded into the tanker hulls. The logistics coordinator is arrested without a fight. He does not even ask for a lawyer. He just asks one question. "How did you find me?" The agent does not answer. He just holds up the leather-bound ledger, and the logistics coordinator's face goes white. In Phoenix, agents hit a border inspection station near Nogales, Arizona. 3 inspectors are arrested, all of them on Maduro's payroll, all of them paid to wave through tanker trucks without scanning them. And when the FBI searches their personal bank accounts, they find deposits totaling over $5 million. Cryptocurrency transfers, routed through Venezuelan shell company, all of it traceable back to the Golden Oil Vault. In New York, agents raid the office of a fictional New York State assemblyman named Victor Salazar. He is not home. He is at a campaign fundraiser. The agents walk into the fundraiser in front of 200 donors, and they arrest him on live television. The charges? Racketeering, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, money laundering, and accepting bribes from a foreign government. The footage goes viral within minutes. 8:37 a.m., the White House Situation Room. President Trump is briefed on the operation. He listens in silence. Then he asks one question. "Where is the oil now?" The FBI director answers. "Scattered across 12 countries, tankers in international waters, storage terminals in the Caribbean, refineries in Trinidad, Aruba, and Panama, all of it under contract to shell companies. But as of this morning, we control those contracts, which means we control the oil." Trump leans back in his chair. "Redirect it, every barrel, bring it to the United States, sell it at market price, and use the revenue to fund border security, drug interdiction, and DEA operations. I want the cartels to know that their money is now being used to hunt them." The FBI director nods. "Already in motion, Mr. President." 9:51 a.m. The first tanker is redirected. The vessel is called the Bolivar Star, registered in Panama, carrying 800,000 barrels of Venezuelan crude. It was supposed to sail to China. Instead, the FBI sends a new set of orders to the ship's captain, backed by a federal seizure warrant, backed by the U.S. Navy destroyer USS Michael Murphy, which is now shadowing the tanker. The captain does not resist. He changes course. The Bolivar Star turns northwest, toward the Gulf of Mexico, toward the United States. Over the next 72 hours, 11 more tankers are redirected. Some are in the Atlantic, some are in the Caribbean. One is off the coast of West Africa, but all of them receive the same message. New orders, new destination, United States control. And by the end of the week, 50 million barrels of oil that was supposed to fund cartels, bribe officials, and finance dictators is instead flowing into American refineries. And every dollar from every barrel is going into a fund that will be used to dismantle the very networks that tried to weaponize it. 11:23 a.m. Back in Caracas, Nicolas Maduro wakes up. He is not in Venezuela anymore. He is in a holding cell at Guantanamo Bay. And when he is told that his golden oil vault has been emptied, that his 50 million barrels are gone, that his entire financial network has been seized, he does not raid. He does not shout. He just sits down. And he laughs. Not because he thinks it is funny, but because he knows he is done. And he knows there is no coming back from this. 1:14 p.m. The DEA administrator holds a press conference. She stands at a podium with the FBI director beside her, and she reads a statement that will define this operation. She says, "Today, the United States executed a coordinated counter-narcotics and energy security operation. We have seized control of 50 million barrels of oil that were being used to fund the largest cartel networks in the Western Hemisphere. We have arrested 73 individuals. We have dismantled a corruption network that reached into our ports, our borders, and our government. And we have sent a message. If you turn oil into a weapon, we will take that weapon, and we will use it against you." The camera flashes are blinding. The questions come fast, but she does not answer any of them. She just walks off the stage, because the real work is just beginning. Prosecuting the cases, tracking the money, rebuilding the trust, and making sure this never happens again. 2:43 p.m. Exactly 12 hours after the vault was breached, an FBI forensic accountant sits in a windowless office in Quantico, Virginia. She is going through the files from the Golden Oil Vault, and she finds something that no one expected: a spreadsheet, encrypted, hidden inside a hidden folder. And when she cracks it, she sees a list of future operations, plans, timelines, targets. Maduro was not just running an oil smuggling empire, he was planning to expand it into Canada, into Europe, into Africa. He was building a global narco-energy cartel, and if the FBI had waited even 6 more months, it would have been too late to stop it. She prints the file, walks it to her supervisor, and says, "We did not just stop a smuggling ring, we stopped the blueprint for a new kind of narco state." 4:17 p.m. The sun sets over Washington, D.C. The FBI director sits in his office, alone, looking at the leather-bound ledger, and he thinks about all the names inside. American names, people who sold out their country for money, people who let cartels poison their own communities, people who thought they were untouchable, and now, every single one of them is going to answer for it. He closes the ledger, locks it in his safe, and walks out. Because the hardest work is not breaching vaults, it is not redirecting oil, it is not even arresting corrupt officials. The hardest work is rebuilding a system that let this happen in the first place. And that work does not end with one operation. It ends when the next generation looks back and says, "That was the moment we chose not to look away." So what happens now? The trials will take years. The money will take years to recover. The oil will take years to fully redirect. But the message is already sent. The Golden Oil Vault is empty. The 50 million barrels are under American control. And the era of using energy as a weapon against the United States is over. If you are still watching, if you made it this far, then you understand. This is not just a story about oil or vaults or dictators. This is a story about power, about silence, about what happens when good people do nothing, and about what happens when someone finally decides to do something. Tap the like button if you want more people to see this story. Comment "Vault broken" if you believe corruption should be exposed. Share this video if you think the truth matters more than the lies. And remember, this story is fictional, but the threat is real. Because somewhere, right now, another vault is being built. Another official is being bought. Another barrel of oil is being turned into a weapon. The question is not whether it will happen again. The question is whether we will be ready when it does. This is the Golden Oil Vault operation. 50 million barrels redirected. $3.6 billion seized. And the beginning of the end for the narco-energy empires that thought they could hide behind oil. The vault is empty, but the war is not over.